So welcome everyone on Zoom. Just to catch everyone up to speed, we're having like a little technology glitch, but I think we have everyone right now. So if you're having any issues seeing us, please unmute, let us know. But we're just passing out some papers here of the Whole30 starter kit that you will find on module 1 and that you had received in your email yesterday. Can anyone not hear me or see us?
I have I can see the group chat on my phone, so if you have any problems during the presentation, just message us there and I'll check in periodically.
Beautiful. All right, so let's, without further ado, guys, thank you for your patience.
There's a whole bunch of
Do you want me to hold it?
I just want to make sure everyone's muted on the other end because I'm hearing people
that they sent us
in my ear.
for this.
Can you guys just make sure you mute yourself on Zoom, please?
I brought Kiwi too.
Perfect.
Kiwi's
I
very
have
good.
fun. I'll just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're really
At night.
excited because we have about 30 people that joined the challenge.
Mhm.
A lot of people are on virtually, and then like another handful are actually from the recording that we're taking right now too.
Okay, so we
So
tried
there's
to
a lot of us.
yeah, so this will be a YouTube video after. So if you guys want to refer to it back or go back on any, what they say or how they phrase it, of course, you could always ask us, but it'll also be in a recording
So we're
form.
gonna turn it on.
Do we want to go through the schedule?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
So you guys are going to get your modules.
Okay.
I'm just going to let everyone know that I'm just hearing people on the other end on Zoom just to make sure that it's muted, please. Just because this is being recorded. Thank you, guys. So for the presentation and this Whole30, we're starting, of course, 6-1 today with our welcome presentation. The true elimination diet, which we'll go through, which is Whole30, is going to start on the 2nd would be the plan. So we'll try to have everything like planned. And then we'll have our true preparation seminar on June 6th, this Thursday, and it'll be virtual. That'll also be recorded if anyone can't make it. It's going to be at 7 o'clock. You're going to see 7 for the rest of the presentations as well. We're trying to aim for Thursdays just to get into a routine. So it'll be 2 in a row in the beginning. And then we have our 3rd week where there's no presentation, but each week you're getting modules throughout with different information, recipes, as well as we're going to set up a group me so all of us can keep in touch and supporting each other throughout. The 3rd presentation is going to be overcoming common obstacles that people might be running into at that point in time. It's also going to be a Thursday, 6:20 at 7. And then lastly, we'll wrap up on the 27th, the 4th week, which would be the end of the 30 days of the elimination. And we'll go over how to reintroduce the foods into the diet to help find, food sensitivities or irritations, inflammatory reactions, and also most importantly, just to celebrate ourselves as a team for getting through the 30 days, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're trying to group me this time because we've done Facebook, we've done the Practice Better app for chats, but some people are having issues with that. So hopefully the group me is a free app that you can download. It's like text messaging, and it keeps all of your notifications right there. You can like turn off them so you don't have to get bothered by them. But it's like a nice little filing system that works like text messaging. It's a good way to like share like recipes that you find and just.
No one has to have a Facebook, which is cool.
Yeah, you don't need Facebook.
Cool. Oh, you're right. I think I'm just gonna hold this. All right. So next we're gonna get into like what is Whole30. So it was developed by Dallas Hartwig and Melissa Hartwig. So there's also a cool podcast that we put on available of her like talking about the diet and her origin with it. It's also on your module 1. It's a 30-day plan, essentially, like we're saying. It's 2 phases. 30 days where you do the elimination of, cutting out dairy, certain grains or starches, sugars, caffeine, which we'll go through. And then the reintroduction can be about 10 days. It's very individualized. So that's where we'll go through that, of course, in subsequent weeks. It's lots of tough love. We're trying to get away from the word cheating, but but it's truly, we want to try to eliminate those foods for a month. So we're giving the GI a chance to like rest from not getting any of those inflammatory reactions. And then you want to introduce to see what your body's individual reactions are to those foods. So some of those could manifest in, as simple as acne, mood changes, bowel issues, just as rashes, just to name a few, if anyone's dealing with those. And then, of course, there's the book, but we're going to be providing you guys with recipes throughout all the information you need. So you're not going to need the book, but if you want a little extra support, it's there.
I actually had that book, so
yeah,
I could leave it up front at the desk if like you guys come in for like nutrition appointments or you're at the gym for anything. You can always like browse through it.
That's a good idea. I like that. I'm doing that. It does not want us to do. It's fighting me and then changed all the numbers. Yeah. Oh, good thought. I like that. So also to check your local library. Ooh, portable too. So when you're on the beach.
For those listening on Zoom, it's available at the library on, get it for kid built download.
I don't know why it's not resuming on here, but it's resumed on there. Ugh, technology today. Guys, we're really on the struggle bus. It's not making sense now. Yeah.
No, did.
I just did it now, but it's like, wait,
There you go.
why? Okay. So our goals in creating this program, it's not just meant to be a diet for weight loss, right? It's really more about like identifying different food sensitivities or inflammatory reactions to the various foods that we're cutting out. We're going to promote whole foods. So it's all about like reducing processed foods and more minimally processed foods go into the diet, fruits, vegetables, like grass-fed meats, potatoes. Like it's not about no starches per se. We're going to have like potatoes, peas, fruits, vegetables. It's more about whole foods, of course, Whole30,
I'm
right?
a fan of spaghetti squash.
Yeah.
During like this Whole30, like I've done this a couple times. I like using that instead of pasta. Get a little like red sauce, pesto on it.
Yeah, so it's like swaps on those
Yeah.
like classic things.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Of course, it's going to encourage more cooking at home because knowing all the ingredients, of course, prepping from home will help encourage like different places that you might be able to go throughout though when we do barriers in 3. Improves in eating habits, of course. So we're going to be focusing on getting more fruits and vegetables in, protein throughout our meals. So it's always going to be foundational to do that. Some people may lose weight, see that as like a side effect, but we're not going to treat that as a overall root of what we're looking to do, if that makes sense. Holistic health. Perfect. Someone might find that they have increased energy from cutting out certain foods that they might be sensitive to, like dairy. Next week's presentation, we're going to go more into the mechanisms of food sensitivities and food allergies as well in the body. Potential for improved digestion. So if there is various sensitivities or cutting out different sugars and whatnot, someone might find that they're going to the bathroom more regularly, less bloating, etc. Emphasizing hydration throughout, of course. Any healthy diet is going to incorporate that. May improve skin health, of course, with the elimination of different inflammatory trigger foods, but also if we're just eating healthier foods and taking in more nutrients, more fiber, more water-based foods, that's always great for our skin and well-being. And this promotes more like mindful eating because we're not really doing strict like calorie plans and calorie tracking. It's more about food groups and set portions of those foods per se, not necessarily tracking everything to the gram. So this is more what we're going to get into next week. It's our explaining the 3 different categories of diet-induced inflammation through food allergies, immune health, and food sensitivities that might be going on underneath the surface. And that's where eliminating the foods, giving the GI a chance to rest, and then adding one back in at a time helps you to realize your own individual sensitivities to each food, especially in the introduction phase. So there's no like, we don't want to say rules or like not allowed per se, but it's just a short term. It's not like any of these foods, you're not going to end up cutting out all these foods long term, right? Like that's where this could be disordered for some individuals, is that might do this the wrong way, is they would cut this out entirely for the rest of their life and could be cutting out good nutrients, a good nutrient source in their diet. It's more about a temporary reducing and cutting these foods out and then adding them back in after the 30 days.
We want sugar, which I feel like a lot of people struggle with it. And even like maple syrup, honey would be falling into that category.
Mm-hmm.
So you could use like fruits more for like sweetness, bananas, like mashed into things.
Even juices too is allowed.
You have fruit, 100% fruit.
Like the pomegranate, like the blueberry. Absolutely. Yes, alcohol, of course. And we're going to give you guys swaps and brand recommendations and recipes all throughout. Legumes. So especially that falls in like the soy category. For some people have like underlying issues with soy, beans and legumes. But if someone's vegan, vegetarian, we'll talk with everybody, especially on the side in that category. Dairy, of course. So ghee is going to be okay. And same with grass-fed or clarified butter. But really, for the most part, other butters, margarines, we're cutting those out. We're going to lean more on like olive oils, avocado oils instead, more anti-inflammatory, more heart healthy. Especially with the milks too. We're going to give you guys brand recommendations for some dairy-free milks, Greek yogurts, etc. Baked goods, of course, we know that they're not always the most favorable in a healthy diet or heart healthy. So those are, of course, getting reduced. We can also come up with some homemade sweet swaps, which we'll give you guys throughout as well. So it's not necessarily like no indulgences. Yeah, exactly. No fun. We just make it healthier. And then do not step on the scale. We want to really try avoiding the scale this month until the very end.
That's why we are offering the invite to you guys if you want to do it. It's not something we're actually tracking for the program, but something you can do before and after for your own tracking.
Absolutely.
But during the whole 30 days, you shouldn't really step on the scale.
Mm-hmm. So the fine print and like the exceptions. So we were mentioning like beans are for the most part cut out, but peas can also be leaned on, like potatoes. Those are going to be more of like our starches, sweet potatoes, squash, iodized salt. Like there's a touch of sugar in there, but like, yeah, but we're like, yeah, it's okay. We can have the iodized salt. We need some of that for our thyroids for some of us. Fruit juice, like we were saying, we love the palm juice, especially palm when it's blueberry pomegranate mix. So you're getting a lot more antioxidants and like resveratrol in your diet. We're not saying drink like glasses of it, but maybe add like a shot glass or two to like smoothies or to use it to flavor different sweet swaps down the road. Coconut aminos is a great gluten-free, soy-free alternative to soy sauce. So where there's a will, there's a way. We find
It's a little sweeter.
Yeah, I like it better, honestly. Vinegars are okay, especially like a red wine vinegar or like apple cider vinegar. Great with a salad from homemade dressings. But the botanical extracts we want to be careful with, especially if they are based with alcohol, like a English Amanda vanilla extract,
Yeah.
for example. So, of course, like what's allowed during the program, we're really focusing on whole foods, right? Things grown from the land or eating from the land, we shouldn't say, right? So swims, flies, grows from the ground. Our meat, occasional grass-fed red meats are great as well. Vegetables, eat plenty of them. Starchy, non-starchy, go for the veggies. Natural fats, olive oil, nuts, seeds, salmon, for example, it would be great to eat plenty of. So you're going to feel more full off protein and healthy fats with high fiber carbs, essentially. So it's not no carbs, it's just emphasis on high fiber carbs. Great for blood sugar regulation as well. Herbs and spices, definitely to lean on for flavoring, very anti-inflammatory as well. Good for cognition. Salt is not the devil, but moderation. And we want to eat foods with limited ingredients. So that's why Christina put together an awesome Whole30 grocery list on Amazon. And we'll have some more brand recommendations for you guys to resort to there. So even if you're looking at that list when you go to the store, you want to just keep it simple, grab it from there. It's all accessible to you. Those who should use caution. So this is why we had everyone fill out a pre-visit like questionnaire, essentially to do the program. We wanted to check in with a few people that may be at risk. So if someone's growing, right, we don't want to maybe be cutting out a lot of food groups for adolescents in different growth phases. If someone might be at a low BMI or have an eating disorder presently or uncontrolled, of course, those with chronic metabolic stress, if someone has, say, cancer, for example, something really needing of nutrients, needing of carbs, etc. So we wanted to make sure we checked in with everybody, but especially if someone's vegan, vegetarian, we might, flex some of the wording for like beans. Common misconceptions: it's not a weight loss detox or a fad diet. It's an elimination protocol that, yes, someone might lose weight because they're consuming more inflammatory foods that doesn't agree with their body, sure, but it's not the intention, if that makes sense. It's the side effect. The goal is overall healthier well-being, better understanding of our bodies. It's not to restrict food forever. It's just to phase it back in the end. We've been driving that point home though. And the elimination period of the 30 days will not lead to nutrient deficiencies. You can meet your needs through the foods in the diet, but if you want to do a multivitamin, we will recommend one as well. It's never bad to be on a multivitamin as long as it's really like a third-party tested one and it's been approved by like your dietitian or your doctor. Sugar incognito. So one thing to hone in, see how it says glucose here, it's like OSE is the ending. So anything that really ends in OSE, you really want to be careful for, like maltose, galactose, lactose, for example. That's going to automatically cue your spidey senses sugar in the ingredients, right? Of course, these are other terms for sugar. And like Christina said, even if it's honey, honey is a healthy food. We don't want to demonize honey, but just in this time period, we're trying to minimize cravings.
And on the labels, it's
Yeah.
added sugar, regular sugar, naturally
Fruit.
occurring sugar wouldn't be something you'd be concerned about. It's the on the label of when it says added sugar, something there, then I'd be concerned and look a little deeper in the ingredient list.
Absolutely, yeah. If you see like OL, like sugar alcohols will count in this, right? Like, because like, was it maltol will still have calories from sugar. So if it ends in OL, that should also be a little bit of a red flag. Maltol, sorbitol, but fruit, right? Like, exactly. Fruit is not the devil. Yes, fruit has naturally occurring sugars. You want to aim for more lower glycemic fruits like kiwis, berries. It has those little seeds, which gives it more fiber. So it lowers the glycemic index, meaning how high it's going to spike our sugars. But we're never going to tell you not to have watermelon because watermelon is also a good volume fruit, meaning that your portion's like a cup and a half. So we could have a big serving to help to satiate ourselves and also be more hydrating. So it's just good to be aware of maybe like the frequency we have more like glycemic fruits. Like I wouldn't have watermelon every day, but maybe a couple times a week, for example, where berries is more of like a daily kind of a fruit. Overall, what's that? A fruit in the box. What's that? Oh, that's like raisins. Yeah, for us, ignore that. Yeah, exactly. Not so much the dried fruits because that's actually going to have some sulfates in it, which we'll get to in a little bit. So this is also good timing with the right with this time of year because this is when alcohol starts to like trickle more into our diets and just because it's Memorial Day weekend, summer. So doing this is also good timing just to help make good healthy choices going into this time of year. But we don't want to be feeling without. We don't want to feel socially isolated. So of course, if we make a mocktail, this is like a great way to think of it from like picking a base, like a sparkling water, like the Gerolsteiner. Or like a mineral water like a Gerolsteiner, mixed berry sparkling water. You pair it with like 100% fruit juice. Like I love the pomegranate juice or the tart cherry juice, which is really good for our joints post workout. Adding in like, say I did the mineral water with the blueberry juice, maybe some basil, and then adding in some let's do some frozen fruit in there. Exactly. And no one would really know what's in your glass, like if you're out at a party or something. So it could be a good way to still feel social. These are some other examples of some recipes, but we can also put some more up there throughout the challenge as well.
Oh, I had this.
I like these. Yeah, I was happy when I saw this.
Actually, just tried this. I was at a hotel and they gave like this to us for staying there.
Oh.
And it's like has like ashwagandha in it and a couple like other little weird things, but it tastes really good and it's no sugar, no alcohol. It's a little expensive, but it's a good like alternative for like champagne or sparkling wine.
Exactly. Alcohol's a little expensive too. So
Yeah.
it's like a little trade-off, and then at least it helps you to like relax.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
And
that.
then that too, the Athletic Brewing Company is a non-alcoholic beer. So options.
Exactly. It's not like going without, it's just swapping because it's easier when we have a habit to replace the habit versus like stick our head in the sand and like ignore it. So we're still like coping with whatever that habit is. We got a question? Yeah.
What if you're using energy gels for training purposes that have different types of sugars? Are you able to use those?
Ooh. Technically that would fall into no because it's all added sugar, but we would say like fruit juices or something or homemade fruit gels you could do.
And I'd be like, what type of training? So we'll contact you separately and just ask about what you're training for and your needs for that because I don't want to cut that out if you're like high intensity training for something. Exactly.
Like definitely have if for anybody on the side, if you have individual questions, we can try to find the best ways to flex for the individual.
Yeah. Well, like some people use like dates, like dried, even though we said they have sulfites, but naturally, like dates are a good like boost of sugar.
Like the Jolie's brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. I like that. For all of us that's I think the hardest part about this challenge, and I'll like be direct about it, is like the cutting out of like the starches and the sugars, right? Or the reduction in the starches, swaps. So this is like just a good list of like, okay, I'm cutting these guys out, but I'm going more towards these. So it's just seeing like what are my alternatives versus foregoing. I like to get a bunch of like pre-cut sweet potatoes during the week. If I have like limited time, if I have more free time, cut them up myself, no problem. I'll have them sit in the fridge with like olive oil and some seasoning so that when I'm ready to use them, I can just throw them on the pan and roast them.
And you can even sometimes find them in the store, like Whole Foods has a brand that has cut up sweet potatoes, butternut squash with nothing on them, throw them on like a sheet pan and throw them in the oven.
all day.
I do that.
Yeah, like that's busy. Exactly. This is just like a good swaps, especially when it comes to like, oh, I don't know why this one didn't, I had updated it, darn. Okay. So this is like Greek yogurt. We can still have, do like the Silk brand or like the Kite Hill brand or the Siggies. If it's the Silk, especially, there's not a lot of protein in the Silk. So we'd add a couple tablespoons of protein powder in there. Silk's been adding probiotics in, but if you want to add a boost, you could always take your own probiotic pill and put it in there. But at that point, I would rather just take it and then just eat it, keep it simple. Milk, of course, we're going to give you guys brand alternatives like Khalifa, Silk. I like the Califia one though, because there's a little bit less of those like gums and binders in it. Cheese, Viola Life, Mykonos, Siete, Kite Hill. Those are all good alternatives. I really like the Kite Hill ricotta and like using that as a dip. It's tasty and yeah, it's like, yes, exactly. You could throw it into different things. And there's like a decent amount of protein in that too, for like a plant-based alternative. Ice cream, there's nice cream. I think Yasso is Whole30. I want to double check if Yasso is, but I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it's Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
It would be the Lewin's brand probably would be the alternative. The oat milk, no, oat milk. We got to find a dairy-free alternative. But nice cream we'll give you guys like recipes for, and then we'll find a good brand that's also Whole30 for the ice cream. Nice cream is essentially like you're taking a smoothie and I'll pour it into like an ice cube tray and then you let those freeze for a bit and then you reblend them later on when you want to actually make it, and then it makes it more of like an ice cream texture. Of course, people are using like the Ninja Foodies now, Ninja Creamies, I should say. So that's also a good tool to make homemade ice cream. That's Whole30. Creamers, so different creamers that people might want to use is like the Califia, like coconut heavy cream. That's a good alternative, as well as like the Nut Pods, Natural Bliss for like the coffee. Yeah. Thank you. I like how we recruited her. You rock. Thank you. Sulfites. So sulfites are going to be really more in like our processed foods, which are getting cut out anyway. We're going towards more whole foods. So any ingredients that you see here, like the sulfur dioxide, sulfur bisulfate, like we're already skimming through that anyway in all of the brand recommendations that we give you guys. So if you're pulling from us, it's not going to have that in there. But it's typically in like baked goods, soups, jams, for example, like your dried fruits, potato chips.
There's a lot of dry foods that don't have it.
Yeah, so it's like
Read
the label.
Yeah.
But just it should make your spidey senses be like, okay, let me just double check it.
Yeah.
But this is just like a good list of it. Teas, but of course, when you're emphasizing homemade, you're cutting out the processed ingredients anyway. Not all, some. Like if you're buying like certain brands versus like if you're brewing at home and it's like a loose leaf tea, then that you're gonna be fine. Yeah. Yeah. What's that? A bag tea should be fine. It's really more the powder teas, exactly, like the process or like the premix that you'll get, like a brisk, yeah, which we're gonna say which from anyway because of the sugar. Yeah, Carrageen's getting a lot of buzz because it's an emulsifier, so it can disrupt the gut lining for some people, and we have like little pores along our gut lining that can. They're actually called like tight junctions, right? So you want them nice and tight and small so that pathogens can't really get through and they're more selective about the nutrients it takes in. But leaky gut, or what's the better term is increased gut permeability, is when those pores or tight junctions start to open up more. And because of that, it's allowing bigger pathogens, bigger molecules into the bloodstream, which can cause inflammatory issues, heart health issues. So Carrageen can amplify and break down that process because it is that like emulsifier, right? So we want to look for that in different foods, but it's often more so in like nut milks, meat products, processed goods anyway, which we're cutting out. You see Carrageen. This is one of the multivitamins that we're recommending. It's a good general for most people. If you're looking for more, if you have more specific questions, if you have different iron needs or different individualized needs, of course, talk with us one-on-one. But this is a great multivitamin for most healthy adults. So this we're gonna like cruise through because a lot of us have done the meal prep challenge before in the past or other challenges with us, but we do want to emphasize meal preparation, especially this weekend. That's why we wanted to give the recipes out in advance, the food list out in advance, so that you guys can utilize the weekend before we start. So of course, these are our steps of meal prep. So next we'll go to the next slide, which is like looking at our schedule. So look at your schedule for the weekend, look at what's going on this week coming up. You know, am I busy? Am I having a night where I can't really cook? Okay, do I need to make in bulk from a certain night to carry me over for that night? So looking at the calendar, looking at when is a good time to go to the grocery store. If we're really busy, it's okay. We utilize Amazon, utilize Peapod, utilize Instacart. We find a way to get it done.
You were for like, meal prep. Places like this paper.
Oh yeah, that's
If
Whole30.
Someone asked about meal prep places. I feel like,
Redefine,
yeah,
I agree,
Redefined.
because they don't use any of the bad oils. It's
Yeah,
all
you just have to,
yeah.
they don't want to walk into rice, you just have to look for, like, one sweet potato or different starches, but they definitely have options. And
Yeah.
they're all over the island now.
Yeah, they're everywhere, and they're not cooking with butter. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I agree. Check your cabinets, because I don't know how many times I've gone to the store and bought doubles of things before I go, and then it's taking up space, and then it's money. So of course, check your cabinets before you go, before you make your list, see what you want to end up making from what you already have. Of course, there's the book, but we have the recipes that's in that Whole30 kit, and the that Clean Life recipes that were sent out as well. If picking out recipes in advance isn't your thing, because that's not everybody's thing. Sometimes we want to like assemble the night of. We could do like a 3x3x3 prep, depending on the needs of your home. Pick like 3 proteins, 3 starches, and 3 vegetables, and kind of mix and match them at each meal so that you're picking a protein, a vegetable, and a starch with each meal. So pre-prepping like quick, easy proteins, like doing hard-boiled eggs or like a rotisserie chicken without the skin, or grabbing like some chicken kebabs with veggies on them, for example, so that you can cook them quickly on a busy night. Of course, there's like a picture of beans, but for the most part, like frozen vegetables or like the pre-cut up, like sweet potatoes and squash, like we were mentioning earlier, would be great tools. We put the meal planner on the module for everybody. So this is just a really great way to collect our thoughts before going to the grocery store, looking at the calendar, and then it has 3 lines: breakfast, lunch, dinner. So we can loosely plan like maybe 2 to 4 breakfasts. You could have lunch be leftovers from dinner if you'd want, and then cook maybe 2 to 4 times during the week, depending on the level of variety that we want to have, right? Quick meals, right? Grilling, sheet pan meals, for example, that aren't going to take a lot of time. And then you would make your grocery list from there after you check your cabinets. And then, of course, plan for some snacks or cravings, like sweet cravings, for example. Next is going grocery shopping. All right. We know we've gone through all this, but of course, like we said, like utilize the delivery services if time is limited. Think color. Your cart should really represent your plate. So if you want to have a couple colors on your plate, meaning variety of different aspects of produce, like fruits, vegetables, you want to try to make half your cart the vegetables, 1/4 of your cart, like the proteins, and the other 1/4 being like your starch, so that you're setting yourself up for the similar types of portions on the plate down the road. Next is get cooking, of course. So these are just ways that we can let our present self help our future self in making things as much in advance as we can, so that once the week starts, there's less having to think or plan or the dreaded question of what do we make for dinner. It's already set. Look at like the feng shui of the fridge or the cabinets, but things that you want to encourage more insight and in mind. First in, first out. So older things that we want to get rid of to prevent food waste, more towards the front. Newer items, of course, more towards the back. But I think it's also just about keeping those like quick, healthy snacks, like the fruits, the pre-cut veggies, in sight and in mind, because I know often sometimes they go towards the back of the fridge and then they get lost in the sauce. These are some Whole30 brands that are great. So you're going to see these also on like your Amazon shopping list, but you also have these slides in your module and in your email with these brands on it. So like these are just some quick meat products, but you're not like limited to them. Sauces and condiments, but again, not limited to them. Next is some quick snack bars, or like the chomps, like the grass-fed beef jerky, for example. RX bars are really good on the go. So if you're stuck in a bind, you need to pop into like a convenience store or whatnot, we could always grab a couple of these. And then beverages. Of course, we're going to really promote more so the home bottled water, home purified water, and like a stainless steel water bottle though. And then these are just resources for compliant brands. So we're giving you guys a bunch. Whole30 website also has a whole slew of information and materials available for all the stages, like the reintroduction and the elimination phase as well. You can always look at their website for more inspiration, their social media as well. But for the most part, we're setting you guys up with everything that you need. If you guys find a cool brand that you're really in love with, though, that could be a great post in the group, because if it's something that you really love, and sharing it to the group might help other people as well. So of course, today we're starting our kickoff for the challenge, but the true elimination isn't going to start to the second. So that the goal is to cut out the foods like we were talking about earlier, the second, and then we'll be done on 7/1. So that would be the full 30 days, right in time for July 4th to start introducing the new foods in, which will guide you guys through that. And the chat's not going to just end on the 1st. So we're always going to be, available throughout that reintroduction phase. So next on the calendar is 6/6. So this Thursday, we're doing more on like preparation, but we're going to go more in depth on like, why am I eliminating these foods? What's the mechanism? What's the efficacy of that? And then also we're going to have like a Q&A throughout, because we want this to be more discussion based. We're a group, we're a team. And if someone's struggling, someone else is probably struggling. So we should, talk about and go over things. But does anybody have any questions about this schedule or just the presentation or what we're working on as a whole?
Has everyone been able to see the module 1 that we released yesterday? Okay.
Good. Yeah. Or does anyone have questions about using Practice Better?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Great idea. Yes. Do you have yes. So we can send something out though in the group meet, because there's a little how-to for anybody with a Fitbit or an Apple Watch to connect it in Practice Better. So that's really good.
If you don't open your app,
it won't sync it. You have to go into the app every day.
Is it every day?
At least that it was messing with me, because when I did the meal prep challenge, I was tracking my steps and stuff. And if I didn't go into the app, it wasn't pulling it from my watch. I could have just been my own though.
Yeah, I've heard people having issues with syncing, but like they wouldn't go, they have to actually open the app.
Yeah.
Maybe every couple of days.
Yeah. But so that's like our electronic medical record, or it's like an app that's all in one hub for all the modules for the challenge. So each week a module is going to get released on Sundays at about 7:30. You'll get the email, your module is ready. You'll press the button in the email and it should take you right into the app if you've already downloaded it. If not, it'll take you onto the browser link and you can get in that way. Yeah. It's like a green with like 2 balls. Yeah.
It's a web browser, or you can download the app for free and just log into your account.
Yeah. But what's
We
really
can send up the link for the app. Okay.
that's definitely a good tool. And with this, you don't have the food log. If you want to utilize Practice Better to food log, like a MyFitnessPal, it's available for everybody. I think it's a really good tool, at least for the second part with the reintroduction, because it has like a mood journal, a GI journal. So you can put in what you're eating and then your symptoms, and we can find patterns. Oh, when we have this food introduced, we get, bloating or discomfort, for example. So that's available as well. Yeah. And then what is next? So if you haven't completed your questionnaire, I think everyone completed it. Yeah. So we're good with that. Everyone did a great job completing their questionnaire. If someone wants to use the InBody to get just like a good baseline measure, what's my muscle, what's my visceral fat, what's my weight, etc., going in, InBody's available today. And if you're not here today, no problem. I guess just contact us if you'd like to utilize it. Review the module if we haven't already. Get into Practice Better today just to maneuver it around. See if you have questions. Let us know in the group. Let us know one-on-one. We're here to help. Multivitamin, if you want to grab that link is right there on the module. So you just press the link, it takes you right there to FullScript. It's third-party tested. And then if you're like, okay, where am I going to get started recipe cooking wise? At least bare bones, pick like 2 to 3 non-starchy vegetables, 2 to 3 lean proteins, and 2 to 3 starchy vegetables, just to get started for the week. And then if you're more of like a cook as you go throughout the week, you already have some basic tools. Maybe pick up a couple of the Whole30 approved sauces and flavorings if we're not so comfortable with herbs and spices just yet. Does anyone have questions? Everyone kind of like digesting and processing. Yes. like, yeah, so it's like meant to be like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks to cover for the week. And then every week we're gonna give out like a new program just like that. And then there's also the Whole30. I think it's labeled, yeah, it's the Whole30 starter kit. And
It's attached, it's with that.
Yeah.
And, I didn't print it all out because it's like 24 pages, but there's a bunch of recipes in that download.
yeah,
And straight from the book.
exactly.
We'll get that every week.
Yeah, so it's like bran racks, multivitamin, recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner. It should be all the major tools to get started, but that's where the group me comes in as well. So if there's anything that people are, having questions about or any barriers, like if it's something that we don't feel comfortable writing about in the group, totally one-on-one is okay. But if it's a question that the group could benefit from, we want to make this more of like a team, if that makes sense, a support group. We really want to get everyone talking and
Can I lean on I really like almond butter.
yes,
So,
you do.
Almond butter is a great snack. I have in the first week a recipe. It's called like blueberry pie for one, and it's blueberries mixed with almond butter, and you make like a little crust out of almond flour and coconut oil. It's really good. It really does give them vitamin.
That is so good. Yeah.
But those are like some like things that you can lean on too when you're craving something sweet. They do hit the spot, and I've done this program a couple times. So
Yeah, you've been around. Yeah.
Why are you leaving the teams? And that's the most question I have. Like, I understand daily, but
I totally feel you. Yeah.
it's like, and I know you can take much because like.
I love
Because
beans,
it
so I
does
get
kind
you.
of fried chickpeas, like I know
Yes.
that's-
Or the roasted chickpeas, like the Buena one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're crunchy. Like I can see how that's like.
yeah, they have lectins in them. Okay. So which is thought to be an anti-nutrient. So there is some like research on that, but some people can just react. It's like some like autoimmune diseases can react with that.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's more so like it's not an unhealthy food. It's
Yeah.
just that some people like it's seeing like with any of these foods, it's not like they're like unhealthy per se, but it could cause irritation for some. And then it's like that's what's always unique about Whole30. Yeah. Good question. Great question. Yeah.
Well, like, I like this is like very decent. I like that really protein beverage. They have like the chai protein and the whole. Is that something that's possible?
That one's like a pea protein. So peas are okay. Pea protein's okay. I have to double check the ingredients on the label for it. I know it's pea protein base, dark chocolate.
Remedy drinks. I'm not familiar with that drink.
I like it.
Look at it.
You'll know it when you see it. Yeah. Let me take a look at that one because I just have to look at all the fine ingredients. Yeah, it's ready to drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about Owen or Orgain?
Orgain, I think is okay. So I think that's a pea protein.
Yes, as long as
Some of them.
Yeah. That's the only thing. Yeah, that's what we can go through. Let me comb through. Because it's like there's a lot of really good healthy protein powders that we can riddle off right now, but there's so many of those like fine ingredients. I just don't want to misspeak and then be like, oh, but meanwhile there's like a a sulfate or something in there. But we'll know what we'll do. We'll send out a list of some protein. We'll add it to the Amazon list. So it'll all be like everything brands. That's right in module 1.
It should be at the bottom. There's like a couple links. Yeah. On Practice Better.
The email should take you to that though.
And then if you scroll down, there's like a bunch of different links and one that says Amazon store. You can use collagen.
Yes, the vital protein.
And the chocolate one. You can use cacao.
Yeah.
And Whole30. So you can make like protein balls with like
Coconut yogurt.
Coconut yogurt would be fine. It's just looking at like the silk one. It's just you want to add the protein powder into that likely to boost or add some other like eggs with the meal. If it's a snack, it's a snack though. The Califia brand or the Silk brand is Whole30. Yeah. No, yeah, oats are gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's what I just did with the Oatly ice cream. I did the same thing. Yeah. There's also the Whole Foods 365 brand pea protein, and it's just plain pea protein. There's nothing else in that. So that's already guaranteed off the bat, like a good one to lean on. Yeah.
What about the one that
The Ascent. That's why.
Garden of Life.
Garden of Life. That's usually pea protein based. Yeah, we gotta double check like the fine ingredients of it. It's usually a healthy one, but it's just like that also has like a lot of ingredients. We just gotta check it. Yeah, good question.
Well, I know that's a big thing. No tobacco, what about marijuana?
Oh, technically like it's not in the rules. They don't mention it anywhere. Yeah,
Fine, but it's natural.
I think it's natural. Yeah, I agree. It's on the ground. Yeah, it grows. It's an herb. It's an herb. And herbs and spices are allowed. Yeah. There we go. Oh, I get it gets more from like a diet but standpoint, but yeah. You know. And listen, questions are gonna come to mind today or as we're prepping and stuff. So that's where like you're gonna see the QR code for the group me. Like jump into there, ask any questions there, message us one-on-one, practice better, or however you normally connect with us via phone, text message, email, whatever's best. But it's normal to have questions. But most importantly, thank you guys for your time today and for signing up. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna do it with you, and yeah.
I got one that comes to mind. So I've been trying the overnight oats thing. What would you,
Do as an alternative.
yes,
Chia pudding?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried that?
well, the cheese, I'm having problems.
Oh, chia.
Yeah, the seeds.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes if you grind them up and make it more like a powder, that could be more tolerable for some situations. But instead of like a meal, yeah, because like can't do quinoa, that's a grain.
So I just heard somebody that you see the supposed to chuck it in the cooler.
Yes.
So if you keep it in the cabinet, do they go bad?
They don't necessarily, they go bad faster. Like you want to keep them in a glass container in the refrigerator, especially if you blend them too. Some people make them more like a powder, like a meal. Same with ground flax too. Keep them in a glass container in the fridge. Yeah. Fats oxidize.
Alternative for, I don't know what else we've used in a, and instead of chia for the oatmeal.
I know, because I keep going towards grains and beans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I'm asking, but oats, great.
exactly. It's probably more of like doing like a dairy-free Greek yogurt parfait or like an egg breakfast if you can instead, or like a smoothie. You like those?
Well, it's just,
Yeah.
I get really hungry after smoothies.
Oh, well, look at like if we are making a smoothie, it's very common because it's already pre-broken down, making sure there's enough protein and healthy fat for most people, usually about 2 to 3 teaspoons of like a healthy fat, like the almond butter in there. I often see like if that gets omitted, people get hungrier way quicker. And of course, like the protein powder in there with usually about like 2 fruits and then maybe sneaking in like a vegetable, like a microgreens or like a spinach should hold us to like maybe doing like a mid-morning snack, if that works. Yeah.
And protein powder, does it matter if it's flavored or not?
You want to be careful of certain flavors, but you're going to be better off like less is best and let the fruit kind of flavor it. Or if you want to add like lime juice or like cinnamon, nutmeg, pomegranate juice, depending on the flavor we're doing. The Whole Foods 365 pea protein is definitely Whole30, but we'll add more on to the Amazon list just to make sure, like clarify, like the Garden of Life one, for example, is a good question. That's the
No, that's the recipes.
yeah. Oh, okay, here. So if someone wants to loan, wait, yeah, there we go. Because you're in the module.
So it's you see like when you scroll down into the actual content, there will be different there's Amazon list. Oh, it was
Up higher than that.
It was at the bottom of.
Like you see the QR code. Yeah. Oh, it's in the Practice Better app, but then it's going to be like welcome module 1. That's like the email we all got yesterday. I think it was around like 1:30. Yes, for the group me, that's correct.
And then you go into the email.
Group me's it's just like an app. Like you know how you have the Messenger app on your phone? It's like
So I have to my dad has a thing and there's like specific group that he has to like enter in so that he's in that.
yeah.
Like, so what is it?
Yeah, that code is all in that module. Yeah, there's like a little QR code scanner too. So if you go on your desktop, it makes it super easy as well. But yeah, you can go right from that. If you hit the QR code in the module, just above it is the full script link, the Amazon list.
The can we only get it through full script or can we like for Whole Foods or?
Sherry's will sell pure encapsulations. Oh no, their
No,
life extension,
Cornucopia does.
Cornucopia has it.
Yeah.
And then you could also get from their website, Pure Encapsulations website. Yeah. Cornucopia is cute. I like
Yeah, they
it.
have a little deli counter that has a bunch of like nice stuff
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
It's a must stop then.
Oh, no, chickpeas and.
Yes, that's a good question. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Zoom on?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone on Zoom have questions or anything in the chat?
No.
No.
We're gonna send out the recording and the PowerPoint.
Yeah, PowerPoint I already put on the module. Attached
Okay.
it, yeah. With the slide already updated though, too.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Guys, we wish you luck. You will do well. You'll kick butt. Lean on us. If you have questions, do not hesitate to reach out earlier than later. And we look forward to Thursday. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And thank you for everybody on Zoom.
Bye.
Yeah.
Right now.